So, ladies and gentlemen, supper.
Are you playing it from? Are you playing it from YouTube? Don't do that ever. Also, move your mouse away from the play bar.
Okay, so we are Team Supper, and today I will be presenting just a brief overview, and then we will have our engineering team, Sasha and Phil, talking about the engineering progress we've made since the midterm. Then our art lead artist, Gina, will talk about the art, and Sujini, our producer, will talk to you a little bit about the production. So just a brief overview of the concept before we start talking about what we've been doing lately. So Suburb is a first-person VR adventure game set underwater in a futuristic world after global warming has made the surface of the Earth unlivable for humanity. So it's first-person VR, and the gameplay is based on puzzles that involve observation of your environment and using found objects to achieve certain goals throughout the game. So, what we've been doing since the midterm. The biggest piece of feedback that we've had is that object interactions in the game were really difficult and a little bit clunky and unintuitive, especially for people who weren't super used to VR. We had an inventory system that was on the body, which was a little bit difficult to use, and it moved with your body in a strange way that kind of made things difficult. So we had 4 major goals since the midterm. 1, to improve the interactions to make it super intuitive for new VR users. 2, integrate a bunch of art assets because we were still in pretty much a gray box phase at that point. 3rd, we needed to teach the core mechanics of our game. The way you move in the game is through swimming first, and then through the use of propulsors, which you find within the game. And those are the ones that thrust you forward like that. So we wanted to teach those 2 movement mechanics, and we did that by a tutorial. And then the last thing we wanted to do was really sell the idea that you were actually underwater. And we did that through a number of underwater effects. So now I'll throw it over to Sasha and Phil and talk about the engineering aspects.
So all this stuff, Phil would tell you about what we progressed and what we did. I would first like to take up the problems that we faced while we were post midterm. So the first thing that we wanted to implement was IK, and we had Sinjin in the loop, and we spent 2 weeks to set up that IK. We rigged our mesh. We used Mixamo for rigging the mesh. It didn't quite work out. We had it onto that level that we were able to move our hands, but the interaction of that mesh with the inventory system and the HUD and everything, it wasn't working. It used to break. So it turned out that there was a problem in the rigging of Mixamo, the way it rigs the mesh. So we used iKinema plugin for IK. We looked at different plugins like full body IK and other stuff, but it didn't quite work out. So that's one thing that we would like to revisit. preferably during the winter break, but definitely on the next semester. That's like number one thing for us to do. The second thing that we wanted to do is the tutorial level and revamp basically whatever which was difficult for the user to play who's a new user for VR, in VR. So that was like an engineering decision that it should be one person who's doing it, because while play testing, it's too difficult to integrate everyone's opinions, and we thought that it would be good that there's one person who's setting up the level and setting it up in a way that he likes. So we decided Phil was doing it. Phil do it because he was involved in basically everything, and he was involved in the software architecture from the beginning and everything. So he kind of decided to revamp the inventory and the HUD and everything that you would see in the demo. So I would like Phil to explain.
Yeah, so it really came down to feedback from users, especially from the VR sort of guru that is Sinjin, kind of knowing exactly how it needs to be, as you all know. But also just from watching people play, whether it was their first time or even people on our team, seeing them really try to use this interface and use different systems, and it's just not working. So over the last 2 weeks, which probably not the best time to do it, but that's when it got done, was over the last 2 weeks it's been very, 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 very late nights into early mornings, into late mornings, literally redoing everything. Every single interaction, every single menu, every single interactable piece in the game now responds to everything you do. You can push off walls, you can hit objects around, everything. It had to be redone really from the ground up. It helped to have actually done it from a programming side already, and once we knew what worked in code, we knew what didn't work in code, so it really made it streamlined to where I was able to do in 2 weeks, that if we tried to do it over the semester, maybe we would have got it done faster and better, but we did the hard work to start, and we knew what it had to be at the end. So when it came down to the end of it, we have a very intuitive, a very responsive interface. The world around you feels like you're there. And one really quick thing we'll talk about in more detail when you get to the game was, again, like Stockton was saying, sort of this correlation between design, the art team, and active engineering, and that was kind of the role I took on myself in these last 2 weeks, was to try and get all of those to a level that's not just playable, but incredibly immersive, so that next week when people come up and play it, they get a tutorial that doesn't make them feel like they're a troll trying to open a door with giant hands that can't do it, but also give them something enjoyable that they will remember.
Alright, yeah, as we talked about the tutorial level, the underwater effects. Sasha, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we have some volumetric fog in the post process in the level right now. We have this was one major addition of particle effect from the propulsors. So now if you press the propulsors, it has haptic feedback. It has the bubbles coming out, spawning from the propulsor point. So you can kind of play around with it, which is fun. And you'll see the demo. And floating objects. So now you can hit the objects, you can kind of like hit them, throw them, and you can push yourself off the wall. So that's the main objective of this game has ever been to make your environment as close as real world is. So I think we did work on doing that.
Okay. Gina, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about that.
So when we got to midterm, we really didn't have too much. We just had like blockouts and everything. So what we were doing like the rest of the semester was cranking out assets, like a semi-final geometry, and then throwing on these trim sheets that were created by someone on our team, Yeltsin. And what I tried to do when implementing them was having them each correlate to a certain weight of material and constructing the environments that way so they're still plausible. And you could use, next slide actually. These are how these look, just pure lights on them. We're thinking of implementing more complicated lights in the future, so for now we just have the ambient light. And this is what the central room looks like without all the post-process effects. And what I wanted to do was establish like 2 different emissives. The blue just sort of like as a decorative, but the orange just sort of guide you towards points of interest, and you'll see that in the demo about like where to go, what's important, where to apply yourselves. These are some other assets we did, also constructed. with the trim sheets, and some are unique, such as the suit. And these were done in like ZBrush, Substance, and finished up, and sort of cleaned up in like Photoshop and Max. And this is another final level as well, where I said we wanted to use like the warmer emissives to sort of get the player on like their objective. So ideally, when you get to this room, which is when you escape out into the water for that second or third level of like the more open area, you would be guided up here with these lights, and you know that this is the door where you would escape.
Okay, so as promised during the midterm, our goal for the finals was to create a realistic underwater experience. So with art and with sound, with more and more art, and that is what we have achieved now, is what we all believe. So the next semester, what our future plan is to build on more levels, like about up to 3 to 4 levels. Right now we have a closed room, and the next semester we are trying to have like a semi-open world where you can actually see the water. Right now we don't have any water effects as such. So next semester we are planning to do on that. And then more sound, much more realistic feeling sounds, and which will guide you through the game. And one important thing, as our engineers mentioned, was the IK. So we are planning to really work on it and get that done for our game. So we have a demo plan as of now. So what we are planning to do is like we are going to have 2 VR areas, where one is going to focus only on the tutorial level, where the players who wants to just try out the tutorial level, we have a separate VR area for the tutorial. And the ones who want to play a game as a whole, we have another VR area too for the game itself. And we are planning to have a trailer and a website running on 2 monitors upstairs. So that's our poster and our website.
I'm sorry, could you show that website one more time?
The link?
Yeah, what is it?
It's very long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
it's website right
sub-website.com/summer.
Yeah, we're planning on getting our own URL pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is our website, and we have our trailer also. Yeah. And this is our team. Yes. That's it.
So we're going to go over the gameplay.
Demo?
Sasha will show you guys the gameplay.
So we're going to do it the same style as last time, if y'all remember or don't remember. Sakshi will play back there, and I will kind of guide him along. So it's going to be hard for you guys that are over here to see this.
I think I'm good. Just make sure you can see.
So when you start the game, we're actually starting off in the tutorial. We made a decision that in a traditional game you get kind of a start menu, but because VR is so novel and you're already in a headset, you shouldn't have to learn stuff without getting some sort of information. So we actually start you straight up in the tutorial. So once Sakshi gets situated, my bad, Sakshi.
I'll just restart the game again.
Get that mouse off the floor.
You're a mess.
It's this one. Just step on it.
I'm gonna restart. Is it? It's fine.
So when you first start, you get a heads-up display mention. We won't go into the details of VR, but we played around with trying to get the correct depth for our messages to the player. So we're hoping that everyone will understand what a breaststroke is. So go ahead, Sakshi. Let's see your breaststroke. That's nice. All right, so you're going to swim to this objective. Oh my goodness. So a door opens, and that's pretty clear that you need to go through there. All right, go ahead and go through there, Sakshi. There's another objective for him. All right, so go ahead. Now what do these say, Sakshi? All right, go ahead and grab that with your left hand. So we can get over there and do it. All right, cool. Now, let's see. Go ahead and grab into that one. Oh my goodness. Well, your blood oxygen is going down, so let's take care of that. So it tells them to propel and tells them where to press. So go ahead and do that. All right, what's that say, Sakshi? Can you kind of maneuver that around with your hand? See what it says? All right, I think it says something like place your hand here, Grab it. Go ahead and just grab that thing. We'll just assume it's important. All right. Now look at your left controller. All right. Press that button. All right. Rotate that around. Maybe place that in your tank. That's probably helpful. All right. Now look at your left arm. What? He's got oxygen now, so you're not going to suffocate, which is great in this game. In most games, every game. Real life too. All right, so close that inventory. Let's continue on with the tutorial. All right, so here's your final room. Go ahead and get to the next point. A little bit of time. All right, look at that right controller. Go ahead and press it. So that's how you bring up your main menu. That's the only menu you can go to. But you know what? Let's take a second. We're not ready to leave here yet. We're very comfortable. Let's open up that box. What do we got here? Oh, nice. Some tools in a toolbox. So we're going to chuck that thing. Get rid of that. We don't want that. It's lame. Let's get something cooler. Yeah, that's cooler. Go ahead and hit that light. Maybe go grab it, actually. Maybe we want that for now. All right. That's pretty fun. It's enjoyable. We can change that color. All right, let's move on. I think you're pretty good at this now. It's almost like you've been playing this for a while. All right, so we just did the tutorial, but now your main menu is actually an in-world environment where you can propel between the two. It felt more natural than trying to give you some sort of artificial menu to actually let you choose where to go in the real world. Why not do it? You're in VR, you can. So let's go ahead and go over to play the game. And hold on just 1 second. Nope, we're already in there.
Catastrophic grave damage detected. Emergency exit instruction sequence initiated. Preserve grave power engaged.
Go ahead.
Scanning wait for life signals. One life signal detected. Engineer number 5414.
Press the propulsor button.
Indicate that one capacity with preserve consciousness for 1 minute.
You don't have to
5 seconds. Proceed for engage subsurface life support suit.
You can see he's probably going to die, but that's okay.
I'm gonna swim through the other side.
Because we're not judging. Like he's okay. He's won before. Let's see if we can get through there. There we go. No. There we go. So there's an interesting problem that we've had. Never until now in demo. It's actually a very interesting problem with VR that while Sachin is swimming towards his suit, I'll explain to you. So in VR, you have a headset that's relative to a ground location, but you want your player, the actual person, to be able to crouch down and grab stuff in the world. So we actually do some inverse, basically tracking of vectors of where they are and apply them to the in-player location. But that creates a very difficult problem of colliders. So we actually have a situation where we have to kind of guess how big someone's going to be before we start. Right now we say no one's going to be taller than 2 meters, which is pretty tall. But if they, as long as they fit in that bounds, we can actually now crouch, you can move around, you will never have a problem so long as you're that tall. We really want to get it to where that capsule actually adjusts to the height of the player. That's kind of an engineering feat we'd like to get. We know how to do the math, we have it written down, it's just testing it enough and making sure it doesn't break everything else that it does. So go ahead and get in your suit. Let's see.
Welcome, engineer number
Yeah, he's dead.
5414.
So that's okay.
Initiating suit startup.
That's fine, I can grab some oxygen.
Propulsors activated. Point propulsors in desired direction of motion and press buttons.
Alright, so at this point you're trying to get off the rig, but there's some guiding lights that you're seeing. Those are going to help Sachin kind of find his way around. The idea is that this is a fairly intelligent industrial structure that's going to help you figure out if something goes wrong to its best abilities. Alright, and Sachin's just being smart. You're getting an extra spare one just in case he gets lost out there and can't find any more. Do you mind bringing those up so we can see them? There you go. Let's see. Keep going. What's the next slide say? Does it say to go to the right?
Yeah.
There we go. Sure. So as you're noticing, I don't know if you can really feel it on the screen, but there's actually a slight tilt to the map. And after this next audio cue, I'll tell you about that.
Automatic blast door inoperational. Please use manual door lever.
So clearly we need to find something like that. So the building doesn't really know where that is, but it's telling us we need to go find that. So go ahead, Sasha, you go find that. Best of luck. You got this. I know you got this. So the building is actually on a tilt, so it's a damaged structure. In the last 48 hours, Sasha and I actually were playing with this level of tilt, and we realized that if you go above about a 30-degree tilt, you're probably going to throw up. Like you get such a super heightened level of both nausea and vertigo that you feel unbelievably uncomfortable. You feel like you're going to fall every single step of the way. Even though you're floating around, it feels so wrong. So we've limited the tilt of our rig to less than 10 degrees, but you still feel it. It's a very surreal sort of thing I was not expecting. Oh, what? What's this? It looks like a toolbox. You got this? Go ahead. Ah. Well. All right, we're just going to get back to the door. You got a couple minutes. Let's go do that. What? That's the wrong way, Sasha. Wait a second. I think Sasha just found a shortcut. Okay. Why not? There might be a second door. Alright, so now Sakshan's found his way out of the first level. And at this point, the next semester we'll be filling out these and making it kind of ease you into this much larger world that at first is very intimidating, but also unbelievably rewarding in VR. You really got to try this. If you have a second next week, someone else manage your workstation, come check ours out, or whatever. Come check it out because it is something that you can't experience on a screen no matter the size. You got to put on the headset and actually play around. That's Suburb.
Okay, questions for the suburb team?
Okay, in terms of art, so would those be used assets going down the tunnels, or would it completely, did you have your artist build out a section?
There were modular pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, well, oh, I just wanted to know how many modular pieces there were in those tunnels.
A lot. Yeah. We didn't even use like some of them because there's a lot, and we're still trying to figure out how to make exactly what we had work. So yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
How many triangles are you pushing?
Sorry?
How many triangles are you pushing and what's your frame rate?
Frame rate is, I think, around 70.
Yeah, we maintain.
Yeah, we're maintaining.
We need 120, right?
Yes.
But we also have an unbelievably, we're reducing triangles every day. As we get better assets, we're swapping out our high poly, low texture for high texture, low poly. And the art team has been amazing at taking it to getting that pairing. We're jacking that up
Do you
as
have
fast.
LEDs for three poly sections?
I don't think we do right now. Levels of detail.
LEDs, level of details, three poly sections? Okay. What about alphas?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't really.
So what I'll do is, actually we'll offline this, but let's I'll pass you the best practices doc, and we'll get that frame rate down.
Down and up.
We'll make it better. Under what?
You're supposed to feel a little nauseous. Any
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.